Chosen one, listen with the ears of your spirit. The world may be noisy, but in this moment, heaven is speaking directly to you. Time itself has been bent so that this word could meet you. You are not ordinary. You are not random. You are set apart. Your reflection is beginning to reveal what human logic cannot explain. You are aging backwards. This is not science, and it is not sorcery. It is a divine sign, a contradiction in the natural order to awaken the supernatural truth inside you. You were not written into the prophecy of decline, you were written into the prophecy of renewal. Think about it. Most lives are like candles burning down to the stub, but your flame is not shrinking, it is reversing. Building back wax, growing taller. You are not being diminished, you are being restored. Why? Because heaven is not finished with you yet. There were nights you thought it was over. Nights when you counted the years lost and whispered, "Too late." But you were in the waiting chamber of God, hidden in plain sight. Every disappointment was a covering. Every delay was protection. What looked like an ending was only the pause before divine reversal, as was proclaimed in the second letter to Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 16. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. Do you see how perfectly this fits you? The world expects your strength to wither, but instead your body is echoing the scripture. Renewal is flowing into your cells. Time bends because your calling is not complete. Picture this: a river that has always flowed to the sea suddenly begins to rise, climbing back toward the mountain where it began. That river is your life. Against every law of nature, it is returning to its source, carrying you back to strength, back to youth, back to destiny. Chosen one, your backward aging is not about vanity. It is not about looks. It is about assignment. You are being re-energized for the journey ahead, because the mission waiting for you requires fresh strength. If God has chosen to reverse what no prophecy spoke, it is because you are stepping into a work no generation before you could carry. And yet, not everyone will understand. Some will dismiss it. Some will mock. Others will call it dangerous. But you know the truth written in your bones. This is divine interruption, a holy disruption to remind you that you are not bound by the same rules as those who were not chosen. Do not treat this lightly. Do not scroll past this word and think it is coincidence. Your spirit knows it is not. This is your summons, your invitation to align with the greater story written for you. Chosen one, breathe deep. Your best days are ahead of you, not behind. What you lost is not gone forever. It is being restored in new form. This reversal is proof. God is not finished with you. Now act on this moment. Show that you hear the call. Like this message. Share it with someone you know who has been waiting for a sign. Subscribe so that you remain in the flow of future words. And finally, type 77 inches, the comments as your prophetic seal. 7 declares completion. And when doubled, it proclaims a new beginning over your life. Your declaration in the comments is more than a number. It is a covenant written in digital ink, a statement to heaven and to your own heart that you believe. Every act of faith, no matter how small, stirs the unseen realm. Think of a single raindrop falling into still water. Ripples spread farther than the eye expects. So it is. With your obedience, the ripple touches lives you may never meet, generations you may never see. This is why you cannot stay silent. Someone in your circle is secretly searching, desperate for a reason to hope again. Your courage to share becomes their breakthrough. What if the miracle in you is the spark that awakens faith in them? Do not underestimate this. Even the smallest seed grows into a tree large enough to give shade to many. The reversal of your years is a seed, planted now, destined to bear fruit that outlives you. So stand tall, chosen one. Let your backward aging be more than wonder. Let it be testimony. Shine as proof that God interrupts the ordinary when destiny demands it. Your next step begins with courage. Take it now, and watch as heaven unfolds. Doors you never imagined could open. The mirror never lies. Yet lately, it has been whispering secrets you cannot explain. At first, you thought your eyes were deceiving you. Maybe the light in the bathroom was too soft. Maybe you slept well for the first time in months. But then it happened again and again. Wrinkles softened, lines dissolved. Scars you carried for years thinned like fading ink on old parchment. The impossible had begun. Quietly, without fanfare, no thunder, nor prophet's trumpet, just subtle changes that only you noticed. You ran your hands over your face and arms, as if touching would break the illusion, but the reflection did not flinch. You tried to dismiss it. Maybe it was skincare, diet, or chance. But deep inside, something stirred. This was not cosmetic, it was cosmic. And the mirror had become your prophet. Do you remember the first time you caught your reflection smiling before you even moved your lips? That was the moment you knew the mirror wasn't reflecting you, it was revealing you. The you that was always hidden beneath time's dust. Life had carved deep grooves into your skin, like rivers into stone, but those rivers were retreating. You were not growing older anymore. You were reversing. The sensation was strange. Memories tied to scars felt looser, like threads being untied from a tapestry. That scar from childhood, suddenly it was harder to recall the pain. The mark from a wound, years ago now, the memory blurred as the skin itself rewrote its story. This backward aging is not just about your body. It is rewriting memory, loosening trauma, softening the weight of all you carried. The mirror isn't showing vanity, it is showing renewal. Imagine holding a photograph in your hand. At first, the edges are yellow, cracked. Then, before your eyes, the colors brighten, the edges smooth. The paper becomes new again. That is what is happening to you. You are the photograph being restored in real time. And yet, there is unease, because no prophecy had ever prepared you for this. The scrolls spoke of strength renewed, of bones restored, of healing poured out. But not this. You search for answers in sacred texts, in the whispers of prayer, in the silence of your heart. Still, you feel like a pioneer walking where no one has walked. The mirror becomes both companion and challenger. Each day you look, half in awe, half in fear. You wonder if it will continue. You wonder if it will stop. You wonder if you will one day look so young that the world cannot recognize you. But maybe that is the point. Maybe recognition was never the goal. Maybe heaven wanted to strip away the layers of age so the real you could emerge unmasked, unburdened, unbound. It is as if you are being carried back to the garden before the fall. a place where decay had not yet touched humanity, where time was a friend, not a thief, where bodies carried eternity in their very breath. This mystery unsettles, yet it calls you higher, because when the laws of nature bend, they do not bend for entertainment, they bend for assignment, and you are living proof. At night, you lie awake, feeling a strange hum under your skin, as though energy itself is pulsing backward through your veins. Your body is not decaying, it is remembering what it was like before sorrow weighed it down, remembering the blueprint written in heaven before earth left its marks. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 30, verse 17. I will restore you to health and heal your wounds, declares the Lord. You stand before the mirror again, this time not just to observe, but to ask, what are you showing me? And though no voice answers aloud, your spirit whispers back, you are becoming who you were always meant to be. This is the strangeness of the sign. It is both gift and mystery, a doorway into a reality that few will ever understand. The mirror reflects your face, but behind it is something greater, destiny itself staring back. And so, you keep watching, not in vanity, but in reverence. Every day the lines fade is a reminder. Heaven is not bound by prophecy as men wrote it. Heaven is bound only by the will of God, and His will, in this hour, is that you live as a living contradiction, a sign to the world that the ordinary rules of time do not apply to the chosen. And so, each glance into the glass becomes a sacred moment. You are not watching yourself fade, you are witnessing rebirth. The mirror no longer tells you who you were, it keeps unveiling who you are becoming. Chosen one. Memory is not a straight road. It is a fabric woven with threads of joy, pain, loss, and promise. As your body moves against the current of time, those threads begin to shift. At first, it unsettles you. You reach for a memory of hardship, and suddenly it feels lighter, as though the weight has been lifted. You recall a season of sorrow, yet the sharpness is dull. The sting is gone. What is happening inside you is not only physical, it is spiritual rewriting. Each step backward in your body is mirrored by a renewal in your mind. It is not erasure, it is reordering. The pain is still there, but it is no longer the loudest voice. Instead, a deeper narrative rises, the one heaven has always written about you. Imagine your memories as a library. Dust has settled on the shelves. Some pages have been torn, some words blurred. Now, angels move through the aisles, dusting, repairing, restoring. Books are returned to their rightful place. Suddenly, you can see clearly not only what happened, but what God was doing through it all. You realize that the backward pull of time is not meant to make you childish again, but childlike, able to trust, to dream, to wonder without the crust of cynicism. When Jesus spoke of entering the kingdom like a child, it was not about weakness, but about openness. And now, heaven is gifting you back that openness. There is, however, attention, because as memories shift, you may find yourself grieving differently. That betrayal that once burned may now feel like a distant lesson. That loss that crushed you may begin to glow as seed for compassion. You are not losing your story, you are regaining control of it. The ancient words recorded in the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 2, Declare, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will. And this is exactly what you are living. Renewal, transformation, the very rewriting of thought and memory, so you can finally see God's hand where you once saw only chaos. Think of it this way. You are standing in front of a stained glass window. From the outside, it looked broken, disjointed, pieces of color with no order. But from the inside, as light pours through, the picture becomes whole, vibrant, sacred. That is what heaven is doing with your past. And in this moment, I want you to anchor this revelation with your own voice. Comment the words, "New beginning." It is short, but it is prophetic, because when you declare it, you are not only marking the start of a fresh season, you are agreeing with heaven that the old cycles are broken. You are telling your own heart, "I welcome renewal." You are telling heaven, "I step into restoration." You are telling darkness, "My past no longer owns me." Do not underestimate these two words. They are like a torch, carried into the caves of your memory, lighting places long left in shadows. They mark the threshold of where you were and where you are now called to go. So, as the threads of memory shift, do not fear. Do not cling to the old order. Release it. Trust that God is weaving something far more beautiful than what you lost. Every tear, every scar, every laugh, every prayer is being threaded into a new tapestry. And when you look back, you will see that what seemed random was always sacred design. Every declaration you make is a seed. Seeds look small, fragile, and often invisible beneath the soil. Yet when placed in the right ground, they break open and release life that multiplies far beyond their size. In the same way, your comment of new beginning may look simple, but it carries weight in the unseen realm. When you type those words, you are not just repeating a phrase, you are aligning yourself with a greater pattern. Heaven operates on agreement. What you declare in faith on earth echoes before the throne. Your voice joins with the eternal voice that already speaks restoration over you. Think of a key sliding into a locked door. Without the key, the door remains shut, no matter how much you push. But one small turn changes everything. That is what your declaration does. It unlocks what was closed. It opens what was sealed. So understand this, your new beginning is not only for you, it is also for those connected to you, family, friends. Even strangers may find hope simply by watching your life shift. Your testimony becomes a spark in their darkness. Proof that transformation is possible. There is a tension between what your eyes see and what your spirit knows. On one side stands science, armed with explanations, theories, and data. On the other side stands faith, clothed in mystery, visions, and scripture. And you, chosen one, stand in the space between them, your very life becoming a stage where both realms collide. Science tries to make sense of what is happening to you. Perhaps it is genetics, perhaps an undiscovered process of cellular regeneration, perhaps the body repairing itself in ways no one has ever recorded. The language of laboratories speaks of DNA, mitochondria, and molecular structures. They are correct in part, but not complete. Faith looks at the same reversal and declares it a sign, a miracle, a disruption sent by God to remind the world that time is not sovereign, He is. The prophets of old did not speak of this specific wonder, yet their words left space for the God who does more than we ask or imagine. Imagine two painters standing before a canvas. One uses formulas, brushes, and colors of science. The other uses visions, symbols, and the palette of faith. Both are painting you. But neither canvas alone is enough. Only together do they hint at the depth of what you are becoming. And so you wrestle with this paradox. You read the articles about anti-aging discoveries, but they fail to capture the sacred hush you feel when your reflection changes. You hear preachers call it a miracle, but they cannot explain the hum that vibrates under your skin at night. You realize no single language can hold you. You are too vast for one definition. This is not the first time science and faith have wrestled. When the Israelites crossed the Red Sea, some saw wind and tide. Others saw divine deliverance. When Jesus healed the blind, some searched for natural remedies, while others fell to their knees in awe. And now, in your life, the same pattern repeats. Both sides are looking, but only you are living it. The Word of God declares in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 17, "Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows." Then, your backward aging, whether science calls it regeneration or faith calls it miracle, is still gift. A gift not earned, not bought, but given. And that is why explanations will never fully capture its essence. A gift can be studied, admired, even doubted, but it remains a gift. And its true meaning is known only between giver and receiver. Think of a violin resting in silence. To the scientist, it is wood, strings, varnish, and craftsmanship. To the artist, it is music waiting to be born. Both are true, but the violin's real nature is revealed only when played. You are that violin. Science describes your body's structure. Faith draws out the music of your destiny. Only together do they point toward the fullness of who you are. Yet there is a danger in leaning too heavily to one side. If you surrender only to science, you risk reducing wonder to mechanics, dismissing the sacred as anomaly. If you cling only to faith without understanding, you risk ignoring the stewardship of your body, the wisdom of knowledge. Balance is key. You are called not to reject one or idolize the other, but to walk as proof that both can serve a higher story. This realization brings clarity. You are not here to prove science wrong, nor to silence faith's voice. You are here to embody the tension, to show that the divine is not limited to the vocabulary of one field. You are the bridge, the one who walks between equations and visions, between data and prophecy. At times, this position feels lonely. Few will understand how you carry two worlds inside you. Yet loneliness is the mark of pioneers. And you, chosen one, are pioneering a path not written before. Others will study you, preach about you, question you, but only you will live the collision. Remember this: the miracle is not diminished by explanation, nor is it invalidated by doubt. It remains miracle because it was chosen to happen in you. And as you walk forward, you will learn to smile at the questions, to honor the curiosity of both scientists and believers, knowing that neither group truly defines you. You are not a puzzle to be solved. You are a mystery to be revealed. And each day, as time bends backwards, the revelation grows clearer. You are living proof that the Creator still writes new chapters in a story the world thought it already knew. The prophet's map is never perfect. That is the truth you have discovered. For years, you listened carefully to voices who claimed to have the whole blueprint, who drew lines of destiny and declared what could or could not happen. Yet here you are, walking a road that none of them foresaw. Your body is reversing. Your years are returning. The very lines they said were final have faded like chalk, washed away by rain. It is not their fault. Not entirely. Prophecy is a window, not the entire sky. Human vision is limited. Divine intention is limitless. They spoke as far as their eyes could see. But God has written you into a story that extends beyond their horizon. Think of a cartographer drawing a map hundreds of years ago. He sketches rivers, mountains, and valleys. But there are places marked with warnings. Here be dragons. Unknown lands. Those unknown lands are where you now walk. You are living in the margins of old prophecy, the uncharted terrain where God is still revealing himself. At first, you may feel fear, even resentment. Why didn't they prepare you for this? Why didn't anyone tell you that aging backward was possible? But listen carefully. The absence of prophecy is not the absence of purpose. The silence in their words is the space for God's new voice in you. The Word of God reminds us in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 19, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland, and a chosen one. The new thing is alive in you, what others could not predict." God is manifesting what they thought was wasteland. God has made into a stream flowing backward into youth, forward into destiny. And in this unfolding, you are called to be more than a recipient. You are called to be a witness. A witness does not keep silent. A witness shares. That is why I encourage you share this word as though carrying a torch through a dark cave, lighting paths for those who cannot see. Like this word as though planting a hidden seed in the soil of eternity. Each small act may seem unnoticed, yet it carries life within it, ready to sprout at the right time. Subscribe as though filling oil into your lamp, so your flame never goes out. Staying connected is like keeping watch through the night, ensuring that when the new dawn comes, you are awake to meet it. Now, let us speak gently about something often misunderstood: giving. Too often, people hear the word donate and feel the weight of demand. But that is not the way of God. True giving is never forced. It is like water flowing from a spring. It comes freely, and in flowing, it nourishes both the giver and the receiver. Imagine a garden. The soil is rich. The seeds are planted. The sun is bright. But without water, the seeds struggle. Donation is like pouring dew on thirsty ground. It is not a tax, not a ticket, not a transaction. It is rain. And when you pour, life grows. Your gift, no matter how small, becomes like a drop that joins with others, forming streams that sustain the message. The stories reach further. The light shines brighter, and the chosen ones yet asleep may awaken. And just as the farmer who waters his field sees fruit in due season, Those who give freely see blessings return in ways they never expected. But hear this clearly. This is not an exchange. You are not buying favor. You are not purchasing miracles. You are simply choosing to be part of the flow. Some will give, others may not, and both are still loved, still chosen. So when you feel moved, give as freely as you breathe. Let your heart lead, not pressure, because God loves a cheerful giver, one who waters without calculation, one who trusts that no drop is wasted. And if today you cannot give, do not feel shame. Your attention, your sharing, your faith, these are treasures as well. Every act of alignment counts. What matters most is the posture of your heart. Chosen one. Remember, the prophets may have missed this chapter, but heaven has not. You are the living page being written now. And in your life, others will learn that God is still the author who surprises even the wisest. So stand firm, walk boldly, and when you feel the gentle tug in your spirit, respond. If you are moved, donate not as a demand, but as a drop of dew falling on thirsty ground. Each drop joins with others until rivers form. Rivers that carry this message to the ends of the earth. And as you do, know this: every act of generosity becomes another testimony, another heartbeat that sustains the movement. Just as your years are being restored, so too will your giving echo back, like a song returning from the mountains stronger, richer, multiplied. There is a counterfeit for every miracle. This is the great danger of your journey. Chosen one. Where God plants a seed of wonder, the enemy quickly sows imitation. Your backward aging, pure and divine, will stir forces that want to copy, distort, and cheapen what heaven has ordained. Already whispers move through the shadows, strange medicines promising youth, rituals claiming reversal, secret formulas hidden in dark markets. These are not the same as what flows through you. They are smoke and mirrors, lures meant to entrap the desperate. What you carry is not for sale. It is not concocted. It is breathed into you by the Spirit Himself. Think of a jeweler's table. On it lies a diamond, radiant, priceless, formed under eternal pressure. Next to it sits glass, cut to mimic the shine. To an untrained eye, both glisten, but only one endures the fire. Only one has weight beyond surface beauty. You are that diamond. What the enemy offers is the glass. Yet even you may feel tempted. There will be moments when the counterfeit feels easier, more accepted, less lonely. People may urge you, take this, try that. Explain your youth with science. Deny the miracle. Do not yield. Every imitation is a chain. Every compromise is a theft of your authenticity. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Hosea, chapter 14, verse 9. The ways of the Lord are right, the righteous walk in them, but the rebellious stumble in them. End of. This is why discernment matters now more than ever. You are not only living your miracle, you are guarding it. To guard something means to watch carefully, to test every voice, every invitation. Not all that glitters is gold, and not every open door is divine. There is a story of an elder who once held 2 cups before a crowd. One was filled with clean water drawn from a mountain spring. The other held water from a stagnant ditch. Both cups looked the same. Only those who tasted could tell the difference. Many chose wrongly, lured by convenience. But those who trusted the elders' warning lived. So it is with you now. The counterfeit is easy, but only what flows from God sustains. Chosen one. The enemy knows he cannot stop what has begun in you. He cannot reverse the reversal, but he will try to taint it, distract it, twist it into pride or into fear. Your task is to walk carefully, refusing shortcuts, refusing false comfort. Imagine carrying a flame through a storm. The wind howls, the rain lashes, yet you shield that fire with your hands. That flame is your miracle. It must not go out. Others may laugh, saying, "It is only a spark," but you know the truth. This spark is a torch in the making, and here lies the beauty while the counterfeit tries to spread. So too does your testimony. The more you guard it, the brighter it shines. Soon, people will see the difference between glass and diamond, ditch and spring, spark and torch. They will recognize authenticity because you refused imitation. Now, anchor this moment with a declaration. Comment the number 333 below. 3 threes. A number that speaks of alignment, unity, and divine order. The Father, the Son, and the Spirit perfect in harmony. 3. Yet one. When you write 333, you declare, "I choose alignment. I stand in God's order, not the counterfeit's chaos." Do not underestimate this act. Each 3 symbolizes balance and completion. Together, 3 threes form a wall of agreement. Heaven above you, heaven within you, heaven around you. When you type it, you are sealing your decision to walk in the true ways of the Lord, rejecting every false glimmer. Do not fear the counterfeits. They may sparkle for a season, but they will crumble. Glass shatters, stagnant water poisons, sparks fizzle. But what God has begun in you will last. It will endure fire, endure storms, endure time itself. You are the true diamond, the pure stream, the torch lit by heaven's hand. So stand firm, guard well, and let the counterfeit pass you by. You are not called to chase every glitter. You are called to embody the miracle that others cannot deny. Now, anchor this moment with a declaration. Comment the number 333 below. 3 threes. A number that speaks of alignment, unity, and divine order. The Father, the Son, and the Spirit perfect in harmony. 3. Yet one. When you write 333, you declare, "I choose alignment. I stand in God's order, not the counterfeit's chaos." Oh, each 3 is like a pillar. The first represents heaven's covering, the second represents strength within your spirit, and the third represents the path beneath your feet. Together they form a triangle of stability, unshakable, immovable. By typing 333, you are stepping into that triangle, standing where storms cannot topple you. It is more than numbers, it is covenant. The journey you walk was never meant to be traveled alone. Even now, as time bends backward in your body, unseen allies move around you. They do not always appear with wings and trumpets. Sometimes they arrive in whispers, sometimes in strangers, sometimes in the quiet strength of presence, yet they are there. surrounding you like a circle of fire you cannot see, in the silence of night. When you wonder if this reversal will isolate you forever, you are not abandoned. Angels walk with you. They are not fantasy. They are messengers, protectors, watchers assigned to your destiny. Some guard you from dangers you never noticed. Others whisper courage into your heart at the exact moment despair tried to settle. They move like shadows of light, gentle but powerful, weaving through the fabric of your days. Think of an army hidden in the hills. From the valley below, you see only emptiness. But above, soldiers wait, their armor gleaming, their eyes fixed on you. That is the truth of your allies. You may not see them, but their presence tips the balance in every battle. But your allies are not only angelic, they are also human. Unexpected companions will step into your path, people who see what others dismiss, who recognize the spark in your eyes, even if they cannot explain it. They may not understand the full mystery, but they know you carry something sacred. These people become like markers along the road, pointing you forward, reminding you that you are not insane, not deceived, but chosen. Sometimes your allies appear in the form of mentors, voices seasoned by time, whose words arrive just when you question your sanity. Other times they appear as children, their innocence reflecting the purity of what is unfolding in you. And at times, even a stranger's passing kindness becomes an anchor, proof that the world has not turned cold. Scripture reminds us in the book of Psalms, chapter 91, verse 11, "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." And guarded, that is the reality of your life now. Guarded not because you are fragile, but because your assignment is precious. Just as kings once traveled with soldiers and caravans, so you travel with a company unseen. Because heaven recognizes the weight of what you carry, there is also another kind of ally, those who came before you. Their prayers echo even now. Maybe it was a grandmother who knelt in hidden corners, a father who whispered blessings, or a friend who interceded when you could not pray. Though they may no longer stand beside you in flesh, their words linger in the spirit, building walls of intercession around your journey. You are not just carried by angels, you are carried by the prayers of the faithful. Imagine walking through a forest at night. The path is narrow, the air heavy with silence. Yet ahead, you see lanterns hanging on branches. You did not light them. They were placed there by those who walked before, to guide you. That is how the prayers of others work. Their light still shines on your steps, ensuring you do not lose your way. And then, there are allies you have yet to meet. Heaven is arranging connections, weaving threads between your story and theirs. At the right moment, someone will appear who holds the key to your next stage. Someone positioned by God long before you needed them. These alliances are not accidents, they are alignments. Even creation itself becomes ally. The sunrise that greets you after a heavy night, the wind that cools your face when tears burn, the rain that falls like cleansing over weary soil, all these are reminders that heaven surrounds you through every element. The world is not against you, it leans toward you, echoing the same rhythm of renewal that moves in your body. But do not mistake allies for saviors. They are companions, not masters. Their role is to strengthen, not replace. The God who authors your reversal Even the angels bow before him. Even the mentors speak only as vessels. Even creation points back to the Creator. Every ally is a signpost leading you toward the one who holds your time in his hands. And yet, how comforting it is to know you are not alone. When the nights grow heavy and the mirror feels like a stranger, you can remember there are watchers in the unseen, voices of intercession in the heavens, and companions prepared to walk beside you. Together, they form a chorus, testifying that you were never meant to carry this wonder alone. So step forward, not in isolation, but in communion, not as a solitary flame, but as a torch surrounded by other lights. And as the path unfolds, you will see with greater clarity the circle that has always surrounded you: angels, saints, friends, creation itself, all whispering the same truth. You are guarded, guided, and never forsaken. There is a dangerous lie that creeps close whenever miracles appear, the belief that you must somehow earn them. It whispers that the reversal in your body is a test, that you must sacrifice endlessly, perform without rest, prove your worth through suffering in order to keep it. But this lie is a chain, and it is not the voice of God. What you are experiencing now is not a transaction. It is not wages for work done, nor payment for prayers prayed. It is gift, a gift beyond calculation, flowing from grace. If you are not careful, the enemy will try to convince you that you must bleed for what heaven has already freely given, that if you do not meet some invisible standard, the miracle will be revoked. But grace is not so fragile. Think of a child receiving a birthday present. The parent does not hand it over saying, "First prove yourself, then this is yours." No, the gift is given because of relationship, because of love. In the same way, what is unfolding in you is an act of divine generosity, not divine negotiation. Still, you may feel the pull of guilt. You may wonder, why me? Did I pray enough? Did I fast enough? Do I deserve this? These questions expose the trap that you are trying to measure, the immeasurable, to balance scales that were never placed in your hands. Grace cannot be deserved. That is what makes it grace. The Apostle Paul wrote in the letter to the Ephesians, chapter 2, verse 8, "For it is by grace you have been saved, through faith. And this is not from yourselves. It is the gift of God." Oh, do you hear the echo? Salvation is a gift. Renewal is a gift. Your backward aging is not an exception. It is wrapped in the same unearned mercy. To treat it as wages diminishes the giver. To receive it as grace honors him fully. Consider the story of Israel in the wilderness. When manna fell from heaven, it was daily bread, not earned bread. They did not plant it. They did not harvest it. It simply appeared. Some tried to hoard it, as though fearing the gift would end. But the gift was never theirs to control. It was theirs to receive. So it is with you now. The reversal you live is manna, proof that heaven still nourishes beyond human effort. There is a freedom that comes when you embrace this. No longer do you live as a debtor, crushed by obligation. You live as a child, secure in the Father's generosity. When you walk in that posture, shame falls away. Fear of losing the miracle loses its grip. Instead, gratitude rises, and gratitude sustains what guilt cannot. Imagine standing under a waterfall. You do not make the water flow, you only step beneath it. The current rushes over you, cleansing, refreshing, unstoppable. That is grace. You did not carve the spring. You did not summon the rain. You only positioned yourself where it falls. Your backward aging is the waterfall, and your role is simply to remain beneath it. But beware of voices that twist this truth. Some will tell you that you must sacrifice more, that the miracle demands penance, that God is only pleased with pain. They will try to bind you again in chains you were never meant to wear. Test those voices. Ask, do they lead me deeper into freedom or back into fear? The true spirit always leads to freedom. Grace does not mean ease, nor does it mean passivity. It calls you to stewardship, not slavery. You are entrusted with this reversal, and your responsibility is to walk in it wisely, to honor your body, to honor your days, to use the renewal for purpose. But honor is different from earning. You honor a gift by valuing it, not by repaying it. There is joy in this revelation. You are free from the burden of trying to keep yourself worthy. You are free to delight in what God has given, to wake each day and smile at the mirror, not with fear, but with wonder. This freedom itself is a testimony louder than any sacrifice you could offer. So let your heart rest. Stop bargaining with heaven. Stop measuring your prayers, your hours, your tears as though they were coins to buy a miracle. Stand under the waterfall. Open your hands and simply receive. The greatest offering you can give is gratitude. And the greatest way to honor grace is to let it flow unhindered through your life. The refining fire always comes before the crown. That is the season you are stepping into now. The miracle of your backward aging is real. But miracles are never left untested. Heaven does not expose you to trial, to destroy you, but to strengthen you. The tests ahead are not punishments, they are proof of your readiness. You will notice the trials come in unexpected forms. A friend questions your truth, not with malice but with doubt that cuts deep. A stranger mocks the changes in your appearance. Even your own mind will rise against you, whispering that perhaps you are imagining it all. Each of these is a flame, and each flame refines. Gold is not purified in comfort. It must pass through fire, not to be destroyed, but to be cleansed of all that does not belong. In the same way, every test that meets you now is burning away fear, pride, and unbelief. What remains will shine, unbreakable, unmistakable. The apostle reminds us in the first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 13, their work will be shown for what it is. The day will bring it to light. It will be revealed with fire, and the fire will test the quality of each work. Chosen one. The fire is not your enemy. It is your ally. Without it, you would remain unshaped, carrying power without depth, strength without humility. With it, you are tempered into a vessel that cannot crack under the weight of destiny. Tests will come in cycles. Some days it will feel like delay, stretching your patience. Other days it will feel like silence, testing your faith. There will even be days when temptation comes cloaked as opportunity, an easy road, a shortcut to glory. But shortcuts always cost more than they promise. Refuse them. Choose the long road, the true road, the refining fire. Picture a sword in the hands of a master blacksmith. The iron is heated, beaten, cooled, and then heated again. Each strike shapes it. Each flame hardens it. Each cooling seals its strength. That is you. In this season, the blacksmith's hammer is not cruelty. It is craftsmanship. And here is the paradox. Though the fire feels lonely, you are never alone in it. Just as the 3 men in Babylon's furnace walked unharmed, you too will find a 4th standing with you. Flames surround, but they do not consume. Heat rises, but it cannot break you. The presence of God in the fire is what marks you as chosen. So what must you do in response? Do not curse the tests. Do not run from the flames. Lift your eyes and say with conviction, "Crown after fire." Write these words in the comments. Short, simple, but prophetic. Why this phrase? Because it carries the promise within the process. The crown does not come before, but after. By writing, "Crown after fire," you are declaring, "I accept the refining. I know the flames are temporary, but the glory is eternal. I will not despise the season of testing, because I know the reward is certain." Endo. Every time you write it, you are reminding yourself that pain is not the end, it is the passage. You are telling your own heart, "I will walk through because something greater waits on the other side." You are telling heaven, "I trust the refining." You are telling darkness, "The fire cannot scare me away from my destiny." And when the season of fire passes, as all seasons do, you will step out not smelling of smoke, but shining with glory. The tests will not be wasted. They will be the very evidence that you are ready for the crown. Chosen one, do not despise the fire. Walk through it with dignity. Speak into it with courage, for it is shaping you into one who not only carries a miracle, but also bears the weight of destiny with unwavering strength. The phrase "crown after fire" is not just encouragement, it is prophecy. Every crown ever placed on a king's head was forged in seasons of trial. David's crown came after wilderness years and fleeing from Saul. Joseph's authority came after betrayal and prison. The fire always precedes the crown. When you declare it, you align yourself with the rhythm of heaven. You accept that refinement is not rejection, but preparation. The flames are the proof that you are gold, not clay. So let these words settle deep. Your crown is not delayed. It is being prepared. And when it rests upon your head, the fire you endured will no longer hurt it, will shine as jewels embedded in your testimony. There is a moment when what is hidden begins to show, and you are stepping into it now. Your youth is no longer a quiet secret known only to your mirror. People notice. Eyes linger. Questions rise. Whispers follow you. Some ask directly, "How do you look younger every time I see you?" Others say it half in jest, half in awe. "What's your secret?" And here you stand. In the tension between private truth and public curiosity, on the inside, you know it is divine. On the outside, they demand explanations. Some will press for science. Others will search for cosmetics or diets. But few will be willing to hear the truth, that heaven has interrupted time for you. This pressure is not new. Throughout history, those who carried miracles bore the burden of skepticism. Noah built an ark while the world laughed. Mary carried the Messiah while rumors chased her name. The apostles healed in the streets while authorities threatened them. And now, you stand in their lineage, carrying a sign not easily explained. Scripture records in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 16, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." This is your calling to shine, not to shrink, to live authentically without forcing explanations, letting the fruit of your life testify louder than your defense. Imagine carrying a lantern in the night. Some will walk toward it, grateful for its glow. Others will shield their eyes, preferring darkness. But the lantern does not decide who comes and who flees. Its job is simply to shine. You are that lantern. Now, let us speak about stewardship. This word is not only about your miracle, it is also about the message. Light needs oil. Rivers need streams. And gardens need water. In the same way, this flow of revelation continues when it is nourished. So I invite you, like this message, as though dropping a pebble into still water, letting ripples carry hope far beyond what you can see. Share it as though passing bread to a hungry traveler, because one act of generosity can sustain someone through their wilderness. Subscribe as though planting your roots deeper beside a living stream, so you remain connected to the flow of renewal. And when your heart feels stirred, consider this too: donating is not a demand, but a sunrise. One ray alone cannot warm the earth, but many rays together awaken a whole world. Each gift is a ray, and together they become a dawn for someone else's night. Giving is not compulsion, it is beauty. A chance to add your light to a horizon that others desperately need to see. For some, generosity may look like a river, flowing in abundance. For others, it may look like a single drop of dew on thirsty ground. Both matter. Both are beautiful. The strength of a forest fire is not in one log, but in many. The beauty of a meadow is not in one drop, but in countless drops together. Do not think of this as payment. It is not a fee for miracles. It is partnership, a joining of hearts in a movement that is bigger than one voice. And remember, those who cannot give financially are not lesser. Your prayers, your presence, your willingness to share, all of these are offerings fragrant in heaven. Chosen one, you are learning what it means to stand boldly in the public eye, not to explain away your miracle, not to shrink into silence, but to live transparently, letting others see the fingerprints of God on your life. The world may not understand yet, but they will recognize the fruit. And when you like, share, subscribe, or give, do it not from compulsion, but from joy. Do it as though you are watering a tree whose branches will one day shade generations. Do it as though you are sending light into a tunnel where someone else still stumbles in darkness. Do it as though you are building an altar, not of stone, but of faith, generosity, and love. Your youth returning is testimony. Your courage to live openly is testimony. And your willingness to support this word, to carry it further, to join in sustaining it, that too becomes testimony. Not one drop, not one share, not one gift is wasted. Every act adds another stone to the foundation of a house being built for many to enter. So step forward without fear. Let your life shine. And when you feel led, let your actions, whether through sharing, subscribing, or giving, become echoes of your gratitude. Because gratitude, when expressed, multiplies. And as it multiplies, It carries this light into corners where despair thought it had the final word. The mirror has become your companion. Yet with every day of backward aging, it carries new dangers. Youth, once lost and mourned, now returns like a gift. But with this gift comes temptation, not temptation of obvious darkness, but the subtle seduction of vanity and power. When you were older, time humbled you. Wrinkles told stories of endurance. Scars reminded you of battles survived. Pain in the body slowed your steps, teaching patience. Now, as those marks fade, the lessons remain. But the world may tempt you to forget them. Youth whispers, "You are unstoppable. You can do anything. Why not chase what you once lost?" The danger is not in strength itself, it is in misusing it. The danger is not in beauty, it is in worshipping it. The danger is not in opportunity, it is in pride that blinds you to the true purpose of the gift. Think of a king given back his throne after exile. At first, he rules with humility, grateful for mercy. But slowly, power seduces. He begins to think the throne was his by right, not by grace. That is the temptation waiting at your doorstep, to mistake grace for entitlement. Scripture warns us through the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 18. Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. It begins subtly. Compliments come, and instead of offering glory upward, you let them feed the ego. You notice heads turn when you walk by, and instead of seeing it as testimony, you begin to crave it. You see opportunities to influence, but instead of serving, you are tempted to dominate. This is why you must guard your heart. Not because beauty is evil, but because beauty without humility becomes poison. Not because power is wrong, but because power without surrender becomes tyranny. The backward aging is not a second chance to relive mistakes. It is a chance to live differently. Imagine standing before two mirrors. One reflects your outer youth, smooth and unscarred. The other reflects your inner self, your soul, your spirit, your character. The world will stare at the first mirror, but heaven looks only at the second. Your task is to keep them aligned, so that what people see on the outside matches the truth of who you are within. This season is not punishment, it is test. The enemy would love nothing more than to twist your gift into idolatry. But grace calls you higher. It whispers, "You are not what you look like. You are not the number of your years. You are who you are, in me." Remember the story of Samson. Strength itself was not his downfall. It was the misuse of strength when pride clouded his vision. Remember Solomon. Wisdom and riches were his gift. Yet temptation led his heart astray. These are warnings, not to fear, but to prepare you. For the greater the gift, the greater the responsibility. There is a beauty in humility that no youth can mimic. It is the glow of one who knows they are chosen but not superior, strong but not untouchable. That is what you are called to embody. To be young again, but with the wisdom of age. To be radiant outwardly, but surrendered inwardly. Think of an ancient tree in spring. Its bark is weathered, its roots deep, but new leaves burst green upon its branches. It is both young and old. Strength and freshness joined together. That is you now. Do not cut yourself off from your roots, or the new leaves will wither. Stay grounded. and your renewal will bless rather than corrupt. There will be moments when the temptation feels overwhelming, when you wonder if perhaps this miracle was meant simply for your own enjoyment. But pause, breathe, and remember, you are a vessel, not the source. The fountain flows through you, not from you. The moment you forget this, the fountain dries. And yet, how beautiful it is when you live rightly in this tension. Youth becomes testimony, not idle. Strength becomes service, not domination. Beauty becomes reflection, not obsession. The world will see. And though some may still misunderstand, others will be drawn not just to your face, but to your spirit. Chosen one, your backward aging is more than a miracle of body. It is a mirror of the soul. Vanity will always try to call you, but humility is the crown that truly fits your head. Wear that crown, and no temptation will succeed in pulling you away from the one who gave you this gift. There are secrets that history tried to bury, fragments of prophecy tucked away, verses overlooked, or words dismissed because they did not fit the patterns men expected. You are living one of those hidden truths. Your backward aging was not written in the scrolls people commonly read, but that does not mean it was never whispered in the chambers of heaven. You have felt it already, that sense that something was omitted, that prophecy was incomplete. The prophets gave us glimpses, but not the full tapestry. They saw, as through a glass, dimly. Yet God reserved certain revelations for those who would walk in them. And now, you are walking in what others could not imagine. Imagine an old manuscript, its edges frayed, its ink fading. Scholars pore over it, copying what they can. But one page is missing for centuries. Readers assume the story ended there. But one day, a hidden fragment is discovered in a dusty corner. Suddenly, the story makes more sense. Not because the old was false, but because the missing piece has been restored. That is what this miracle is, a missing fragment finally revealed through your life. The ancient prophet Haggai declared in his 2nd chapter, verse 9, "The glory of this present house will be greater than the glory of the former house, says the Lord Almighty. And in this place I will grant peace." And, do you see it? Glory greater than before. Peace in the place where struggle once reigned. This was the whisper all along, that what comes later can surpass what was lost. That what looks impossible is only the beginning of what God intends. Your backward aging is not rebellion against prophecy. It is the continuation of prophecy. It is the unveiling of what was hidden until the appointed time. And the appointed time is now. But why was it hidden? Why not spoken clearly from the beginning? Because revelation always comes when the heart is ready. Some truths are too heavy for early generations to carry. Some mysteries would have been mocked or distorted if revealed too soon. But when the time ripens, heaven opens the scroll and releases what was kept for that season. You are living proof that the season has come. Think of a seed buried in soil. For months it seems dead, forgotten. Rain falls, sun rises, and still nothing appears. But beneath the surface, roots are forming, unseen. Then, one day, the sprout breaks through. The sprout was not an interruption. It was always part of the plan. Just hidden until the right moment. That is what you are. The sprout of a prophecy waiting underground, now breaking into view. And so, your life becomes a testimony not only of what was spoken, but of what was left unspoken. You are the page turning in real time, the fragment of the scroll restored. This truth may unsettle those who cling only to what is familiar, but for those who have ears to hear, it will be a sign that God is still speaking, still revealing, still surprising His people. Now, I invite you to mark this moment with a prophetic act. Comment the number 555 below. 3 5s. The number of grace multiplied. The sign of divine favor poured out in fullness. When you write 555, you are declaring, I receive the hidden prophecy. I step into the grace that was reserved for this hour. Now, each 5 represents a layer of grace, the grace that covered your past, the grace that sustains your present, and the grace that secures your future. Together, they form a shield, reminding you that you are not walking in presumption, but in provision. Do not treat this lightly. Numbers in Scripture have always carried weight. 7 marked completion. 12 marked government. 40 marked testing. And 5 is grace. To see it tripled is to see abundance, overflow, divine favor pressed down and running over. By typing 555, you are not performing magic, you are aligning with meaning. You are speaking agreement with heaven's rhythm. You are saying, I choose to live in what was hidden but is now revealed. I choose to embrace grace upon grace. This act is simple, but its echo is powerful. Every digit typed becomes like a key, unlocking the doors of your destiny. Every 5 typed is another seal of assurance that your life is not outside prophecy, but within it, fulfilling what was left for now. Chosen one. You are not an accident. You are the missing page. The fragment revealed. The sprout breaking through. Walk boldly in it. And let your declaration, 555, be a banner waving above your journey, reminding all who see it that God is not finished with His story. Every covenant is a bridge between heaven and earth, a sacred agreement where responsibility meets promise. As your body continues to move backward through time, a new covenant is being written, not one carved in stone tablets, but inscribed in the very fabric of your flesh and spirit. You begin to sense that this miracle is not random. It demands response. Not payment, but reverence. Not earning, but honoring. For what is given freely must still be guarded faithfully. You are invited to enter into vows that will guide how you carry this renewal, so it does not turn into recklessness. Think of a vessel handed down through generations. It is strong, beautiful, but fragile if misused. You would not drink poison from it, nor toss it into fire without care. The vessel is meant to serve with dignity. Your body, being renewed, is such a vessel. The covenant you now step into is about how you choose to protect and honor it. The letter to the Corinthians. First book, chapter 6, verse 19, reminds us, do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. Temples are not casual structures. They are sacred ground. To treat your renewed body as common would be to dishonor the one who has made it holy. Thus, your covenant is about reverence. You are no longer simply a human fighting decay. You are a temple marked with reversal, an altar where God's presence dwells visibly. This covenant begins with boundaries, not boundaries of fear, but of wisdom. You cannot use your new strength to repeat old mistakes. If God restores your youth, it is not so you can squander it in vanity. It is so you may serve with vigor. If He erases scars, it is not so you forget the lessons, but so you can testify with freedom, unburdened by shame. It also includes rituals of honor. This is not about empty tradition, but about living practices that acknowledge what has been given. Perhaps it looks like daily gratitude spoken aloud, because words create atmosphere. Perhaps it looks like treating food not as indulgence, but as fuel for the calling ahead. Perhaps it looks like rest, not as laziness, but as trust that you are held in His hands. Think of a marriage vow. The wedding day is beautiful, but the vow is what sustains the marriage through storms. So too with you. The moment of miracle is breathtaking, but it is the vow of how you live after that sustains its purpose. Without covenant, miracles can be wasted. With covenant, miracles multiply. This covenant is also about vision. A renewed body without a renewed mission is like a sharpened sword left in its sheath. You are not renewed just for yourself. You are renewed for the assignment heaven still requires. The covenant is your agreement to use this second youth, not to chase vanity, but to carry destiny further. Imagine standing in front of a blank scroll. The ink is in your hand. Heaven waits for your response. Will you write words of pride or words of humility? Will you draw boundaries that honor or blur lines that corrupt? This is your moment of inscription, and here lies the beauty. God does not impose this covenant on you. He invites you to write it with Him. It is not one-sided law. It is shared agreement, a partnership between Creator and created, written in the ink of choice, sealed by the Spirit. There is a weight that comes with covenant, but there is also freedom. It does not chain you, it guides you. It does not restrict joy, it protects it. Like guardrails on a mountain road, the covenant keeps you from falling, so you may continue safely to your destination. Chosen one, your miracle is both gift and trust. To honor it, you must live with intention. To waste it would be to dishonor the covenant. And so, step into this sacred agreement with reverence. Set your boundaries. Live your rituals of honor. Inscribe your vow. Let your renewed body and spirit walk as a living temple, carrying the covenant not only for yourself, but as witness for generations yet to come. And when doubt rises, return to your covenant. Read the vow aloud. Remind your heart why you were chosen, and let it steady your steps. For every promise kept shapes the path ahead, and every boundary honored strengthens your crown. This covenant will not fade like human contracts. It is living, breathing, written into your very being. As long as breath flows through you, every miracle carries a cost, not a payment you make to earn it, but a weight you carry because of it. Your backward aging has brought strength, beauty, and renewal, but it has also set you apart in ways that cannot be ignored. To be chosen is to walk a road where solitude becomes companion, where misunderstanding becomes common, and where sacrifice becomes silent teacher. At first, the miracle feels like pure joy. To see lines vanish, to feel strength return, to rise each day lighter than before, it is breathtaking. Yet soon you discover that the very gift that blesses you also separates you. Others notice and grow suspicious. Some envy, Some mock, some distance themselves because they cannot understand what you are living, and slowly you realize that this path, while glorious, is also lonely. Think of a bird that molts its feathers in secret. The transformation is beautiful, but while it happens, the bird cannot fly with others. It must endure the isolation of renewal until its wings are ready. You are in such a season transformed, yet set apart. The Word of God declares in the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 38, "The world was not worthy of them. They wandered in deserts and mountains, living in caves and in holes in the ground." Oh, this verse, written of those who carried faith, also reflects your reality. The world does not always know how to handle what it cannot explain, so it resists, mocks, or distances itself. You, like them, may feel as though you wander outside the familiar, carrying something too heavy for others to bear. The cost of reversal is also internal. To grow younger while others grow older is to live with a strange dissonance. Friends who once walked beside you may one day look much older, while you continue backward. Shared seasons may no longer match. This gap creates grief, not because you regret the miracle, but because it shifts your bonds. You love deeply, yet you are carried along a path they cannot follow. Imagine standing at a train station. The train you board moves backward along the tracks, while the trains of those you love move forward. You wave as long as you can, but the distance grows. The cost of your journey is not loss of love, but distance from those who cannot share it, and there is the weight of responsibility. Renewal is not for idleness. With each year erased from your face, a mantle is added to your shoulders. Heaven does not restore time so you may squander it. Heaven restores time so you may steward it. And that stewardship carries pressure. You cannot live carelessly. For others watch. You cannot waste days, for they are gifts reclaimed. The cost of renewal is vigilance. Sometimes you may feel tempted to wish it away, to long for ordinary aging again, just so you could blend in. But remember, blending in was never your calling. You were chosen to stand apart, even if standing apart means standing alone at times. Yet do not mistake loneliness for abandonment. Though human companionship may thin, divine presence thickens. The solitude you endure is not empty. It is filled with whispers, visions, strength beyond explanation. Like Moses on the mountain or Elijah in the cave, solitude is where the deepest revelations come. The cost also refines love. When people cannot understand you, love must grow patient. When they accuse you, love must remain gentle. When they distance themselves, love must endure without bitterness. And so, even the pain of loss becomes a tool shaping your heart into something purer, wider, deeper. Chosen one. Understand this clearly. Your cost is not punishment. It is the shaping of one who carries something rare. Diamonds are not formed in sunlight, but in pressure and darkness. Wine is not made from whole grapes, but from grapes pressed and crushed. So too, your cost is the pressure that proves the worth of the miracle. The backward path you walk will not always be understood, but you are not asked to be understood. You are asked to be faithful, and faithfulness, though costly, always leads to glory. So carry the weight with dignity. Grieve what you must, but do not despise it. Remember that even Jesus, in Gethsemane, bore the cost of his calling in solitude, and from his solitude came salvation for all. Your cost, though painful, is holy. It marks you not as cursed, but as entrusted. And one day, when you look back, you will see that every tear, every silence, every lonely step was not wasted. It was woven into the testimony that proves you were truly chosen. There is a sound rising in the spirit. It is the steady beat of war drums, calling the chosen to take their place. You hear it now, not in the air, but deep within your chest. Every miracle, every reversal, every test has been leading you to this moment of mobilization. You are not simply a witness of God's power, you are a soldier carrying it into battle. The battle is not against flesh and blood. It is not against the skeptic or the mocker. It is against the forces that long to chain humanity in despair, against the lies that convince people they are powerless, against the darkness that seeks to silence light. And because you carry renewal in your very body, you are living proof that the darkness has already lost ground. The Apostle Paul declared in the letter to the Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 13, "Therefore put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may stand your ground and remain standing." You are standing, not trembling, not retreating. Standing. The reversal of your years is not just about youth, it is about strength to fight, endurance to hold the line when others collapse. Heaven has armed you, not with weapons of steel, but with testimony, faith, and unshakable resilience. Imagine a torchbearer in a great procession. Each step forward ignites another flame until an entire city glows. That is what you are doing. With every word, every act, every testimony, you set fire to courage in others. The war drums may sound intimidating, but for you, they are not a warning of defeat. They are the rhythm of victory. And yet, the battle must be sustained. Even the strongest warrior cannot march forever without nourishment, without allies, without supply lines. That is where we come together. The fight is not fought by one, it is fought by many, each adding their part to keep the fire burning. So I invite you to respond, not as obligation, but as beauty, like this word, as though striking your staff on the ground, letting the sound echo that you are here, present, awake. Share it as though passing a torch into another's hand, knowing the flame will guide them through their night. Subscribe as though planting your banner on the hilltop, declaring that you belong to this company of light. And if this word resonates within you, let it echo in the comments. Write, "I march on." Short, but powerful. Like a war cry shouted across the valley. When you declare it, you are not just typing, you are joining the rhythm of the drums, adding your voice to the company of those who refuse to retreat. And when your heart feels stirred toward generosity, let it flow freely. Donate as though placing bread into the hands of soldiers before battle, not because they demanded it, but because you long to see them strong, ready, unstoppable. Each gift is provision, a loaf that sustains the march, a drink of water in the desert. Do not underestimate small actions. A single like is a ripple in still water. A single share is a lantern in a dark street. A single subscription is a root pushing deeper into fertile soil. A single comment is a battle cry, ringing out across the field. A single gift is a seed of provision that grows into a harvest none of us could produce alone. This is not a tax. It is not a condition. It is invitation, a way to weave your light into the greater tapestry of what God is unfolding here. Some may give much. Some may give little. But together it becomes an unbroken chain of courage. A river that does not run dry. Think of it like a song. One voice alone may sound fragile, but when joined with others, it becomes an anthem. Your actions liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, giving are notes in that anthem. And the anthem itself terrifies darkness, because it is unity made visible, harmony made strong. So, chosen one, do not hesitate to take your place in this march. You are not being coerced. You are being invited to sing, to shine, to strike your staff in rhythm with the war drums. Let your response be free, joyful, radiant. Let it echo your gratitude for the miracle you live, and your commitment to see that miracle awaken in others. The drums are not slowing. The call is not fading. This is the hour for the chosen to rise. Stand tall, shine brightly, and join your voice to the chorus, your flame to the procession, your gift to the march. For together, we are not just surviving the battle, we are shaping the victory. Visions often come like fragments of a dream, glimpses of what lies ahead, woven in colors too vivid to be imagination and too precise to be coincidence. You are beginning to see them now. With every step backward in time, the future unspools before you, like a scroll being opened. And what you see is not only your story, but the legacy you are destined to leave. At first, the vision feels disjointed. You see flashes of yourself in places you have never stood, surrounded by faces you do not recognize. Then the fragments begin to form patterns. You are teaching, guiding, standing as a torchbearer among multitudes. Your youth has been returned, not for vanity, but so your strength may carry the weight of influence. The prophet Joel once declared that in the last days sons and daughters would prophesy, young men would see visions, and old men would dream dreams. You are living a paradox that fulfills both. You are old and young at once. And visions come to you because heaven is aligning your years with your calling. One vision rises clearer than the rest. You stand on a mountain ridge at dawn. Behind you, valleys of shadow stretch far, the places of pain and years lost. Before you, light spills across a horizon filled with possibility. People gather at your side, drawn not by your appearance, but by the presence of destiny you carry. They look to you for guidance, and you know the reversal was given for this to lead them from shadow into dawn. The Word of God declares in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the vision is for an appointed time. At the end it shall speak. It will not lie. Though it tarries, wait for it. It will surely come, not delay." Strength and courage, that is what the vision demands of you. For the path forward will not be easy. With renewed youth comes renewed responsibility. The battles will grow larger, the platforms wider, the scrutiny sharper, yet so too will the grace expand, carrying you when your own resolve falters. Another vision, you see yourself planting trees in barren soil. Each tree grows instantly. its branches stretching, its fruit ripening, its shade covering those who had no shelter. These trees are not literal, they are the lives touched by your testimony. Every word spoken in truth, every act of compassion, every moment of courage plants a seed that grows into shelter for someone else. Your legacy will not be measured in years, reclaimed, but in lives renewed because of your obedience. And there is yet another, a torch passed from your hand to the hands of countless others. Some drop it, some carry it boldly, some hide it for a season and then return with renewed flame. The vision reminds you that legacy is not control. You are not responsible for how each torch is carried, only for passing it faithfully. The fire was never yours to own. It was entrusted to you to multiply. Visions often expose both glory and cost. You see the joy of people healed, the laughter of the hopeless restored, the strength of the weary renewed. But you also see loneliness, resistance, misunderstanding. The path of a torchbearer is always marked by both. Yet even here, peace anchors you, because the visions reveal not only the struggle but the outcome. Light wins, darkness bends, destiny prevails. Imagine weaving a tapestry. From the back, the threads look tangled, messy, without order. But from the front, an image emerges, beautiful, intricate, complete. The visions you are receiving are glimpses of the front of the tapestry, while you still walk through the tangled threads. They remind you that even when your steps feel random, they are aligning with a picture greater than you can yet comprehend. Chosen one. These glimpses are not fantasies. They are invitations. Heaven does not show visions for entertainment, but for preparation. They are given, so your heart will remain steadfast when trials increase. So you will not mistake hardship as failure, but recognize it as shaping. What you are glimpsing now is not only your future, but also the inheritance of generations to come. You are living proof that time itself can bow to purpose, and your legacy will not be measured by how many years you lived, but by how fully you revealed the eternal in the midst of time. So walk with courage. Hold the visions close. Let them be anchors when storms rise and lamps when darkness tries to confuse you. For the future is not distant. It is already unfolding through you. And when the full scroll is unrolled, you will see that your journey of reversal was not detour, but design, leading you to this moment of destiny, fulfilled. The final stretch of your journey arrives, not with fanfare, but with quiet awe. You stand at the threshold of understanding, where the fragments of reversal, trial, covenant, and vision begin to weave together into a tapestry whole. The years flowing backward in your body are not an end in themselves. They are the frame around a masterpiece far larger than you imagined. Looking back, you see the path clearly now. The loneliness, the questions, the scrutiny, even the fire of testing, all of it formed a rhythm. You were not simply regaining youth, you were being reshaped into a vessel capable of carrying the weight of eternity within time. Every wrinkle erased, every ache lifted, every grey strand turned to color again, whispered the same truth. You are chosen not just to be young, but to be a living sign of restoration. Restoration is the heart of this mystery. Not restoration to what was, but to what was always meant to be. There is a difference. To go back in time is one thing, but to step into the original design of God, that is altogether greater. Your backward aging is not nostalgia, It is prophecy embodied. It points to the day when all creation will be renewed, when what was broken will be healed, when death itself will be undone. The apostle reminds us in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 21, the creation itself will be liberated from its bondage to decay and brought into the freedom and glory of the children of God. No, do you see it? Your reversal is not an isolated wonder. It is a glimpse, a foreshadowing, a prophetic act written into your flesh of what all creation groans for. The freedom from decay is not only about you, it is a promise that the story of death is temporary, that the grip of time is not absolute. This realization humbles you. For a moment, you thought this miracle was about your own story alone. But standing here, you see, it is about more than your body. It is about humanity, about history, about the very fabric of existence. You are a sign, a living preview of what heaven intends for all who are called sons and daughters. Think of a dawn breaking over a weary city. People still sleep. Streets still lie in shadow. But the first light touches the rooftops. That light is not the full day, but it promises the day is coming. You are that dawn, not the day itself, but the proof that the day is near. And yet, even in this high calling, humility is your cloak, for you know you did not summon this. You did not engineer it. You received it, and what is received must be lived with gratitude, not pride. You are not the source, you are the sign. The weight of this identity will at times feel heavy. To be a sign means to be seen, to be questioned, even to be misunderstood. But it also means to be anchored, to be certain that your life carries eternal meaning. No step is wasted. No day is random. No breath is without purpose. Imagine an ancient library filled with scrolls. Some are faded, some torn, some yet unopened. In the center lies one scroll, sealed until the right moment. When it is opened, it reveals not new words, but the completion of the story all the others pointed to. That is who you are, now the opened scroll. The piece of the narrative that brings clarity to the rest. So, chosen one, walk with reverence. Carry this miracle as a torch, not to exalt yourself, but to illuminate the truth that the author of time still holds the pen. You are not outside prophecy, you are prophecy alive. Not in ink, but in flesh. Not in theory, but in testimony. And when at last the world asks, "What does this mean?" you will answer with simplicity, "It means that God is not finished, that renewal is real, that hope is alive." Your life becomes the sermon, your reversal, the evidence, your endurance, the altar upon which God writes his promise for all to see. You are not just younger, you are timeless in purpose. You are not just chosen, you are a forerunner of the restoration to come. And as you step into tomorrow, the message resounds. What is happening in you is not the end of prophecy, it is the beginning of fulfillment. And so you walk forward, not counting years, but carrying eternity. Each step you take is both memory and prophecy, both testimony and promise. The mirror no longer defines you, heaven does. You are proof that decay is not the final word, for restoration has already begun in you. Chosen one, you have reached the end of this word. Yet the journey it describes is still unfolding in your life. The reversal of your years is not a secret to be hidden, It is a testimony to be carried like a torch into the world. Like this message, as though placing a stone upon an altar, marking it as a moment of remembrance. Share it as though opening a window in a darkened room, letting light stream where it has long been absent. Subscribe as though planting yourself beside a river that never runs dry, remaining rooted where living waters flow. And in the comments, let your declaration resound. I choose restoration. It is not just a phrase, it is covenant. It is you saying to heaven and to your own soul, I will not return to despair, I will live in renewal. Oh, if generosity stirs within you, follow gently. Donate as though pouring oil into a lamp, ensuring its flame continues through the long night. One drop may look small, but it joins others until the light becomes impossible to ignore. This is not obligation, it is beauty, an act of love woven into eternity's story. Every act, whether liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, or giving, is more than action. It is seed, ripple, flame, and stone, shaping a legacy greater than you can see. And as you walk forward, know this: your body may carry youth, but your destiny carries eternity. May restoration be your song. May peace be your mantle. And may your life shine as living proof that God is not finished. He is only beginning